welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your boy Breeze. Thank you guys, everybody who could be here today. I really appreciate you guys. This is the free Facebook lead generation course or workshop. So I've been doing like 5 weeks. This is week number 2 of just different things you could do on social media in order to get business and draw up leads for your business, regardless of if you're a service business or a product business. We got some tips and tricks you do for free that we don't even touch on a day-to-day because they're right, like we see too many things in front of us and then it's really hard to kind of navigate the platform. So a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't really use Facebook that much and this and that and the third, but this is the biggest, behemoth for a reason, right? It has the most information. So Facebook at its core is just an open directory to virtually anybody and a communication platform for everybody, right? So there was a point in time where we all didn't have phones, and then all of a sudden we had, a cell phone that we can take with us, and that dramatically increased the amount that people could communicate with one another. Facebook is the same thing. It's just another communication platform. The difference between you texting somebody and then direct messaging somebody on the platform is virtually nothing. Like there's literally no difference. They get spam and text too, They get spam text messages, spam calls, spam messages on Facebook. So there's literally no difference. Just reach out to the people that you want to reach out to. And it's an open directory. So you can search any terms that you're looking for, any types of businesses that you're looking for. You can go to people's profile, find out about them before you obviously even talk to them, right? You can see on their profile what their jobs are, what they're passionate about, the links that they have. And then the position that they are in the job, similar to like LinkedIn, right? On LinkedIn and Facebook, most people have, oh, I'm the owner of this, the owner of that, whatever it is, right? And more often than not, we're working with small business owners in the service space. Otherwise, on the product side, we're just working with everyday people like you and I, on top of being business owners. So I kind of think of it as like 3 different areas to navigate on the platform, right? What you own on the platform, what somebody else owns on the platform, and using all the stuff in between, right? The tools, the messaging features, the apps on there, all that stuff is very important. There's things that you can do with what you have as far as your pages, your groups, things like that. But then there's also a nice subsection that you can take from what other people own on there and still utilize it for your benefit and still utilize it to draw some business to you. So starting off with what you own, your Facebook real estate. First off is your Facebook profile, right? So last week we went over just some of the things that make a profile clean, right? Like your photo, for example, that little bubble, having your face on there so people can like see you and recognize you as a person. When you see people smiling, when you see people's faces, it just elicits an emotion that allows you to connect with them the first time you see them. So things like that, getting your bio up to snuff, making sure that your links are up to snuff, right? If you're using a link tree, if you're using your business website, making sure that all that is visible and clean. So I'll actually exit out so you guys can see some of this. So this is my Facebook profile, right? This little Facebook cover is pretty important to a degree, right? It's the first thing that somebody can possibly see, right? They see your profile picture and then they see the cover at the same time, right? Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a little something, for like 5 minutes.
You look different without your glasses.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have them off next week, and then these little braids too, right? But so this can be edited right on Canva, guys. Like go to canva.com. It's free, and you can edit it, and it comes in. All you do is type in Facebook cover, and it comes up with a bunch of templates. You can just type your words in it, change a couple of pictures, and you're good to go.
Is that the best way to do?
That's the best way to do it, especially if you're doing it yourself. So I'm always going to teach you guys the way to do it yourself, right? I don't recommend doing things yourself though. So when I say that, that's a caveat, right? I always say hire out experts in the fields that you're not super effective in. But for small things like this that we just need to take care of, you don't want to spend $50 for somebody to do something that you can do in 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and go to canva.com and knock it out. Same thing with the profile pictures. Make sure it's your face and then maybe something in the background, right? Or a color in the background that's kind of representative of your business is what a lot of people go with now. And even on Canva, you can cut the background out and then just have your face on there easy. So then it comes your name, then it comes your intro, and you can edit all your bio information. And this is just literally should be some type of timeline for you, right? So similar to, I would say kind of like your work experience or your criteria that you have in a resume, for example, this should show people kind of like the lineage of where you're coming from to what you're doing now. Very, very easy. All your business links are there, and then the content that's here, right? So the one thing that I always say is groom your Facebook profile. Go in there and see. People tag you in crap all the time. They tag you in stuff all the time, and you don't know. When somebody goes to your profile, this is a friend of mine, and she posted this. Proud of this. We'll leave it up, right? All of these, right? Shout out to Veteran Advocacy Council. I will always shout that out. But other stuff that people have, they're just going to tag you, and now it lives on your profile like it's your stuff. If you don't like it, then, for example, this event's done, so I could just take it because they're only going to scroll so much as well. If they're only going to scroll 3 or 4, posts, why are you going to have one of the posts be somebody else's post or something that you don't represent or stand for, right? Correct. So take that, hide from profile. You don't have to remove yourself. All you need to do is just hide it from the profile. These ones are good, right? So those are kind of the main components for it. Next is your Facebook business page, right? You own your profile, you own your business page. There's a slight difference between the two. Go ahead.
Is there a way that you can, like, somewhere in the settings, you can stop the tag profile stuff, like from showing up on your profile?
I believe so. Yeah, you can go into settings and then the privacy settings. I'm not prepared for it right now. I would dig into it with you right after this because you got to like click through. But there is a way.
I always ignore everything because I'm tagged in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I do more inspirations on Facebook than anything. But I get tagged a lot from all my friends, and I look at it and say, is it something that I want on mine? If it's not,
it's gotta go. Yeah.
89 other people on there anyway.
Exactly.
Including me.
And then at the same time, you want, your people, for example, to be able to engage with you and bring you in on things that are important to you.
Yes.
Right. So to kind of build on what Avery was saying, when you do change it, just change it to your friends only can tag you, but it's still going to be a lot of people,
There's a big pro though to being tagged, right? Like if somebody drops a testimonial on my page, like that's the main thing that I want to see on my tags. I get tagged by those posts where you got like 90 other taggers, and I just have to groom it because I would prefer to delete those and then keep the opportunities when somebody wants to say something nice about me and then share that, because I feel like psychologically that does something different to the person who's looking at my page. Me posting something versus somebody else
posting it for you. Yeah. I think that is a lot of value. So that's kind of the caveat to that, right? So like if you're in like you said, a 50-person chain, 90-person chain, tag, and it has nothing to do with you, get that out of here. But if it's something you support it back, right?
And I can say a little bit to him. I did it where I went in and I had changed in my Facebook and I removed words that weren't like to tag me or anything like that. And what they did to my page is then that after I did that, I wasn't being able to see anything that was posted or so on my page. Now, everything that I was only seeing is my stuff. So I wasn't being able to see like the engagement or anything from anyone else because it got blocked out. So I will say like, put it where you will approve it, as she was saying, Miss Marion was saying, first, and then you decide whether yes or no you want it on your page. Instead of blocking it, like I did. And then your page is blocked completely.
For some reason, Facebook doesn't like that.
So this is all the social media platforms, right? They're very much high reward for you engaging with each other. That's what makes it a social media. They want you to socialize on there. So the more engagement that you give another person, the better for you, right? So if you're saying that I don't want to be, even associated with any of these people, then Facebook is going to see that it's probably not going to, give you favorable outcomes, let's say, right? So,
you know what I just noticed too, now they can do like a hashtag or something, and if you're in that group, because I follow groups, they follow me, whatever, but
they can still tag.
It's like you're tagged automatically,
Yeah.
basically, it looks like.
And I'm gonna go over that right now. So that's on the Facebook page and the Facebook group. There's two different mechanisms to be able to just tag everybody in it, right? So what I would say is there's two things that I look at with a Facebook page. It's not your profile. The page is not your profile. But what you can do is you can make a page that looks like your profile, right? So the same way that you have your personal profile, you can make a business page that's your name, your picture, the same kind of innards, and now you have the ability to utilize it as a page and do all these different things, right? And I do that because I'll go over in a little bit here going into Facebook groups. I like to go into Facebook groups. That's great. But you can't do sometimes some of the things that you want to do as a profile as you can if you were using your business page. But then people don't really interact with like a business logo when they're talking to you. Like if you message somebody on a Facebook group and you're messaging them from your business and it's your business logo, it's not as effective as them seeing a name and face. So you want to be able to join the group as yourself, but still be a page that you can then do, business related, messaging and things on. Mm-hmm.
I currently have like business names on Facebook that have tagged me or like my stuff, like a business. And now I follow that business, and every time they put something out, because I liked and commented with them, they're like the first people up. Like this floor company, I don't know. It was one of my friends that opened it up, but I can't remember who it was because they only use that profile now.
That's it.
On my personal.
Now you want to be able to do the same thing, right? So for your business, this Facebook page, so this is like my travel agency's Facebook page. You have the ability to not just post all the content, but actually generate leads now. They've actually opened up a lead center in here that gives you a lot of information. When you're building these pages up, you can go to the more area and go to followers. And then in the groups is called members. Oh yeah, I forgot they changed it. So you have to switch into the page now. Hold on.
This is on the profile page, not your personal.
Yeah, so this is on your, your business page.
Okay, business.
All right, so being able to go in here, being able to invite people. This is a beautiful thing because now they have the ability to select all. This didn't exist, you guys. Like, you remember when you first were creating pages and you try to invite people, you had like click the check boxes on everybody's name.
Yeah,
exactly. So
and they only let you do so many.
They only let you do 50 or 25 at one point.
Exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and invite everybody right now while I'm here with you guys. But that's the power of a Facebook page. Now, if you're on here, how you get everybody on the page and tag them in a post that's very, very high quality, high relevance. Make sure if you're going to tag everybody, give them value. Make sure it's a value piece of content that you have and not just always tagging them in some sales mechanism that you have. Oh, I'm selling this, tag everybody. Oh, I have a discount on this, tag everybody. Even the discount isn't necessarily value, right? It can be, but it isn't necessarily. It's still self-serving and it's still perceived to the audience as a self-serving post. But what you can do here is you can just put @followers.
Okay, that's what they're doing.
What's it, followers?
Or is it at?
Yep. Oh no, it's right here.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why they put it down there in the list. It had me confused. I was like, damn, maybe I'm teaching them wrong. But I can do @followers and then just message whatever, put the post up, put the picture up, and it'll tag, for me, all 1,400 of these people. So you own this page as far as Facebook, right? Own it on Facebook. You don't own anything on Facebook, but you own it on Facebook. All right. Yeah. Question, Elias?
What's an example of like a high value post? If a discount's not a good example, what's a better example?
I think as long as it's not directly serving yourself, I think it's pretty high value. And if it's like valuable, right? Like if I was to do a discount, but it's to my service, that's a problem. But if I find a discount for something else and I think that this is an amazing service, it's a lot better. And anybody who got value from that just sees you as an expert in that field, right? Like for me, travel agencies, right? We personally, and I can do Airbnbs, but I choose not to, right? But if I found an Airbnb rate, I'm like, hey, y'all, this is a crazy rate, man. You can go to Thailand for $300, you know what I'm saying, for 5 nights and do an Airbnb over there. I found this. I thought it was dope for you guys. That's like an amazing thing for somebody. And they're just like, oh, yeah, this is nice, right? Something else that you can do is just giving away items. Like anything free, I think is good, right? If you're giving it for yourself or from yourself or from your business, as long as it's free completely, then I think that's value for the most part because you don't have to give anything for free. And I always, recommend trying to find different free things that you can have in the business to give away. Other than that, just tips and tricks around your industry, I think is important too. And may I ask, what does everybody do here? So what industry are you in, Ms. Miriam?
I'm an author and I'm trying to do a nonprofit right now. So I have like very minimal stuff, but I have a lot of followers, like on my personal, not on my business.
Okay. And then for you?
And I have a kind of question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should your profile on your business account match your personal name too?
So I would create 2 pages. So that's one of my like quote unquote pro tips. Like you're going to make a business page for your business and then make a business page for yourself so that you can engage both ways, but from a business profile or business page there. So I'll just make 2 pages, one that's your business name, the logo, all that stuff. And then one that is you as the person that maybe represents this business. And then, that's it.
Okay.
So I would just do both. Yeah. And then what other industries? I remember hair oil, acrylic nails as well. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And then for you?
Okay. What do? I am a founder of a nonprofit. And the other thing that I do, I am a fitness coach, a nutrition coach, a
Okay.
chaplain, and also a teacher.
Okay. So I feel 2 service-based industries, 1 product-based industry for the most part. Like service-based meaning you're talking to the people, working with them, and you're monetizing your time, right? Kind of when it comes to nonprofits, a lot of that is service-based stuff for the most part. A lot of times, right? We're doing things for the community. People are doing things for us and being able to donate to us for different reasons, but it's just different causes, different initiatives, different things that we're doing as far as like work, man hours allocated. A lot of that stuff, I take that as like service-based things, right? For the most part as well. And so a lot of these are going to be relevant to you guys, especially when you're building Facebook pages for nonprofits, for example. Getting your donation buttons up in here for the links, those are very important. You should have a one-touch button to donate directly to you. And you can utilize PayPal, for example, just to take donations. And they actually have it to where you set up just one button, and that's it. And then just have a donation page for that. Also on that page, I would do, and this is a little off topic, but your deck, right? Like a pitch deck pretty much of what your nonprofit is, the things that you're working on, the projects that you have going and coinciding for your nonprofit. And then if you had a dream number of funding that you would be looking for, what would that number be and how would that be allocated as far as the instructors, the workers, everything? That should be something that's accessible, like right up underneath the donation button, right? They should be able to say right under that, oh, yeah, I want to see what they got going on. So they fill in name, phone number, email, and it sends them, the deck or the form or whatever. And that's something we could automate on the app here as well. But if not, then, just get their name, phone number, email, and say, hey, we'll send it to you, and just email it to them. If you're not a super automated person, just email it to them and let them fill out the form. Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
for the donation portion, you know how a lot of people are starting up LLCs and some people are doing nonprofit.
Right.
So do you suggest like a person that has an LLC to do like a fundraiser as well?
Yeah. Why
Okay.
not? I would do a fundraiser. I also feel as though, just get another LLC and then turn that into a nonprofit as
Okay.
well. There's an unlimited amount of things that you could put an LLC on. You can LLC your car, you can LLC you as a person.
Okay.
There's a lot of different things. You can do holding LLCs and put some other stuff in there, assets in there. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. But I would do, just anything fundraiser related. You're just going to have to look at like the different tax laws, right? Like if you're a for-profit company and you're doing a fundraiser, there's different ways. You just have to document what all of that stuff is being spent on, right? And like it's okay to raise funds, but they're still going to tax you way different than they are on nonprofit as well. But you know what I'm saying? 60% money is better than 0% money.
Right.
So if you're going to do it. But I would just say, do the other 400, get the LLC, and then do the little easy form and kind of get a pseudo nonprofit that's maybe not so well set up, but is there. In my opinion.
How do you attach the now that you're talking about that, how do you attach, if you already have the nonprofit, how do you do a for-profit for the nonprofit?
That's a good question. I'm not perfectly qualified in this space, but I think you just set up another LLC and then they're just two separate entities. Obviously they can work together and create like synergistic relationships, but it's two different businesses and the funds have to stay like separated. Exactly. Yeah. For the most part. And there's different ways, obviously loopholes.
I failed in a lot of little businesses, including back in the day when Facebook was very new. I had a little small business, but I don't know how to delete that because it was back in like 2008 when the crash and no businesses wanted me to set up their Facebook. So that's still out there. And then I have like my profile name when I started the book, and I have a couple little things like groups, so I don't know how to get rid of those and kind of like start fresh.
If you do have the login still and those pages are showing up on your Facebook profile, then there's a way to like delete it and I can help you after this. Otherwise, it's kind of hard. They just are out there. All I would do is just, build a profile that can trump those ones, right? One that kind of overshadows all of those ones and that roots everything to you.
That's exactly my planning. I'm kind of like taking all that I know, but now updating my knowledge more.
Making it more relevant to
my business knowledge instead of the employee mindset.
Yes. The business knowledge is a big piece, man. The business knowledge is a big piece. And all of this, like, a lot of my business knowledge is based around marketing. All of my business knowledge is based around like data and how to set up things. I'm a good organizational person. And I love to say that now because I was not. For my whole life, I was not the highest organizational, genius that there was. But now I'm pretty good. That? Just intentional effort, like everything is like repetition. And it's like I think of everything as a 10,000 hours thing. So like, I'm gonna just do it over and over until like it sticks. And I have to set up maybe reminders for myself to remember to like not cut this small corner because it seems so small, but it's humongous at the end of the day. It cascades further. And then I also think of things as like a pay my future self type of scenario. So like, man, if I do this one thing now, my future self will be so happy that he doesn't have to do it later. My
future self is now, and I'm kind of like,
yeah, exactly. So
I'm looking at it and like, when things happen in your life and you're taken away from things, you see the dominoes affecting your business where, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Now, if I had that in place 5 years ago, that would have been really great.
And I think a lot of us too, we're better at giving the advice than like taking it for ourselves. And that was one thing for me. And I'm like, man, I have to prove the worth. I have to prove the concept. I can't just not walk the walk and talk the talk. People don't listen to that a lot. So especially, yeah. So for myself, I had to learn how to be, an organizational nut for the sake of like clean data and like apps and software and marketing. So I don't want to think that like we're just shooting blindly, you know what I'm saying? Throwing darts in the dark, right? I want to feel like, oh, no, we have all the information to back up. We know with a degree of certainty, maybe 70%, right? 60% that this is probably going to land because we know our audience. We've tested a bunch of things before. We know 100 other companies that do something similar. And, we know the best systems to do it, and if it fails, it's like, it doesn't feel like, man, there was something that we just didn't take into consideration. It was like, man, there was like a really big constraint that was unforeseen. And we all feel like it was unforeseen because we had so much planning around it. So we all feel comfortable in saying, damn, we just got to re-roll and go around this thing. You know what I mean? This
You
big
just
mountain.
stop everything and you just kind of reassess. But, like I said, I still do my inspirations every day. And I have people always loving it. But at the same time, I've got to start being that, you said it earlier, when it comes to my future.
Oh yeah, paying off your future self. Yeah,
future self.
it's important. Now back into this public groups. I know me, I'm a yapper, so I'll be done ran through all the time. But on the Facebook groups, the thing that I love about Facebook groups is you have a lot more control than you do on the page. They have so many different nuanced features in here. For example, guides. You can create guides that are just based around your business, but the guides can also be just things that you would like your audience to do before they get to you, right? So a good example for me is like a lot of times when I work with people, we have to set up all this assets, Facebook page, Instagram page, Google business profile, all that stuff. I just put free guides in there on how to do all that stuff yourself. So by the time you come to me, maybe you have it 80% done and I could just come in there and clean it up. But you get all these guides for free, and it's just an immense amount of value to just be had in the space, especially around whatever your business is. Any information that you can give for free and not lose sleep over, you should find a way to give it for free now. You know what I'm saying? As soon as possible and in an automated fashion, so that it's not always like oh, let me meet with you one-on-one and then hand this to you. No, they should be able to find you, find what you're about, find what you have, and then download it. Yeah. That's it. So when it comes to the Facebook groups, the same thing. Instead of at followers, we're doing
give them something.
Everyone.
Get their email. Okay, I'm getting it.
And then this one here, I love this one on the Facebook groups. You just add everyone in the group. They all get tagged the same. It says that you tagged them. It doesn't say you tagged everyone. It says you tagged them specifically, right? So that's beautiful. Some of the other things that are really cool in here, badges, just sets up a little hierarchy, sets up a little leaderboard kind of gamification aspect in the Facebook groups. And then the rules, very important, set up your rules early so that people aren't just stepping out of line and it's very clear when somebody's stepping out, because they will. They're going to start spamming there.
Rules?
You do.
Oh, okay.
So Facebook will give you like a template and then you just add whatever you feel, like it could be anything. Hey, you can't promote your business more than once a day or more than 3 times a week or whatever that needs to be.
I got people just
spamming and slamming it. Yeah, I just changed the rules. I announced the rules. And then if you do it after that, then I just delete that post and then strike it. And then I strike it again. And then on the app, they have abilities to set auto strikes pretty much on there to where it'll maybe cut them off for a week from being able to post, and it'll give them the access back. Okay. So then they understand, yes, it's not okay to keep doing that, right?
Not nice.
So when you do that eliminates them from getting on Facebook completely, or just on your group?
Just on your group.
Oh, okay.
So it'll either be you're striking them to make it so they can't comment, make it so they can't post, or making it so they can't see stuff in the group. Usually I let them see stuff because it's like you're gonna see what you're missing. You should have played by the rules, and so you could be a part of the conversation. But a lot of times too, like people are just siphoning off like leads, but not in a way that's savory, right? Not in a way that you're showing your tact, your couth, if you will, right? And so what we're gonna teach here in a second too is like how to gracefully talk to people and actually have a meaningful conversation in here as well. So this the Facebook group, and we can go deeper into some of that as well. What happened? And then the last two that are kind of your real estate on Facebook is the Messenger app, right? So Facebook Messenger, just sending messages, and I'll go over some of what I like to do with Messenger. But there's like some small little features that I think just make people more effective when you're messaging people on Facebook, especially out the blue, right? And then the professional dashboard. People overlook this a lot. They think it's just a bunch of numbers, which it is, but they do also have a lot of new features, creator tools and things like that literally are articles from Facebook and Instagram teaching you on what to do and what not to do and what everything means. It'll tell you like, hey, you should stop doing this because it doesn't work anymore. Our system doesn't register it anymore. And, just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean it works. Right. It just means everybody's doing it. So whatever they're saying from Facebook and Instagram is like the grail for, what that platform actually is going to be more often than not. And I'll go over some of that. Now, what other people own, right? So this is like the most fun part for me as far as growing the leads for your business. What other people own, like scouting these Facebook groups, whether it's a private group or a public group, you can utilize already pre-existing audiences with already pre-existing what we call customer avatars or customer personas, whatever that audience is for you. So I would say step one, after cleaning up your Facebook profile, which we went over already, understand your customer avatar. Who is it that you're trying to sell, and who is the best person for you that will interact with your business and possibly buy from you, or in your guys' instance as nonprofits, donate for you, or for you as a service-based business, buy from you, right? Now, these are like the 5 different factors that I look at when I'm just making a quick customer avatar. I know it's huge. Every time people talk about this kind of stuff, it's humongous amounts of information. I'm like, man, just get 5 of these and choose 3, not less than 3, but you can go higher than 3. So your age, your gender, your profession, a pain or pain point, and your passion or a passion that people have, right? So if you're like, oh, women between the age of 25 and 45 that have back pain, that's like 3 of them, and that's a very good avatar, right?
Age, gender, position, your passion.
Age, gender, profession, pain, and passion. Right? Profession, people resonate with their job, and whether it's good or bad, they're resonating with it at a high frequency because they're there all the time. Your pain or your pain points, and then your passion, right? So if you can string together 3 or more of these, you're going to have a sharp enough and narrow enough customer audience and a niche down audience to really start moving it, right? Because if you're aiming for everybody, you're aiming for nobody. Right? If I just say, man, men over the age of 25, like, okay, great. That's like 40%, 30% of everybody. Realistically, we're looking for a sharper audience, and that doesn't detract from being able to help these other people outside of that, but it does allow us to serve them, the people who are our core audience, better for a higher rate because it's more fine-tuned and just easier. It's overall easier, right? So choose 3 of those things, find them, aim for them, right? Number 2, use the customer avatar to search for Facebook groups you think your audience will be, right? Or that you think they will be in, pardon. So if I'm saying, oh, we're looking for women age this to that who have this, maybe let's look for the pain point and like, back pain, groups about back pain, for example, keeping that same, chronology there. Or what pain points or passions, health nuts, fitness nuts, flexibility nuts, right? For example, people who are into flexibility. So you just have to think a little bit outside of the box. But once you can find those people, it's not too hard. A lot of businesses, we work with small business owners. It's super easy to find small business owners. They're like all over the place, right? So this is a small group here. Not small, sorry to say that, but this is a group in case they are watching. Oh, cool. So this is their group, right? So it's 6,000 members, Las Vegas small business. People in here just posting all day about their business, right? Then we find posts that are like this are refreshed already. Man, it's gone. Well, let me see if I can find one here. Usually there's like these little small ones that people are posting with words, and then they're just going insane, like usually hundreds of comments, and it just takes a little bit to scroll. But another thing that I do is I follow maybe 10 or 11 of these pages, and then automatically I just engage with a lot of the posts in those groups. And then on my homepage, I start to see a lot of their posts. And what you're looking for is down here, a post that has 50 or more comments, right?
I heard that before.
Yeah. So then what you'll end up doing is going into the comments and just commenting to people. Now, I went over last week, there's comment to DM framework, which is just going into the comments, tagging somebody and saying, check your DM.
Check your DM.
And then DMing them a message, right? So that's all that you're doing here. And then all I'm doing is creating a flow of questions that just make sense to open up that conversation. Hey, I saw you were in this group, wanted to learn more about X, Y, and Z, or we do X, Y, and Z, or I would love to connect more over whatever the case may be, a Zoom, phone call, whatever the case may be. They can usually see what you do. You're already addressing, where you saw them. They should already see the message that says check DM so they can see what post that was under. So they should have a semi-okay context with the conversation. And so what I'm trying to do is, as a business owner, you're doing 100 of these a day. That's it. It seems like a lot. Maybe that sounded like a lot. I'm sorry, y'all. Did that sound like a lot? Like these messages? Okay. Because what I do is I'm just saying check DM and I'm copying and pasting that. If there's 50 comments on here, maybe like 15 of them are relevant, and then I have to find another post. But 15 of them, I just say check DM, and I'll post the same thing to you. The same message, I'm sending it.
So that's in your messenger, right?
Yes.
DM's your messenger.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
and
sorry,
so,
I'm just trying to get the lingo down.
No, you're fine. So how it'll end up being is like, is this comment actually gonna show? Let me see.
And that's after you go in the Facebook groups, see them, like them, follow them, and then see the posts that they have. So then once I see the post, the engagement, then go in and comment and say, can you tell me a little bit more of what's going on?
And you don't even have to really follow them. Realistically, it's just this, right? So like from here, all I'm hitting is the reply button, and it automatically tags them. I'm putting, check DM. And then I'm just clicking send. And then from there, all I do is click his name. And then click view profile. And then I'm just doing a message. Well, his profile is set up literally to not accept messages. Yeah, but most people is just going to be just like this. Hopefully this lady has it right.
They don't.
Yeah, they have theirs blocked off. It's funny. Bad examples. But also on the phone, I think it's a little bit easier to navigate. But you're just going in and messaging the same message. Some of them are going to be bum leads, like as far as not having the access to do that. So just back up, go back, find somebody else. At the end of the day, you just want to send 100 messages, right? If you do that, that's 700 messages a week, 2,800 messages a month.
Then once you message them and tell them DM me, then at that point, then what?
So you send them the DM first.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll say, check your DMs, and then you send them the message. Now all you're doing is waiting for them to respond. Mm-hmm. Now, usually they wouldn't receive the message right away because they're not friends of yours, followers of yours. But since you commented to them, they should be looking to check their inbox and check the message request to see you and your message. And then they open it up and respond, or they don't. Right. But the more messages that you send, the more that the outreach is compound. Right. So like for some of the numbers, and I'll go over here in just a second, the more that you send, the more bookings that you get per day, because people from a few days ago when you sent messages finally start responding back. People aren't perfect on Facebook messengers. They might take a week to respond back.
Months,
Right.
I mean,
I'm a solo messenger, so
Yeah.
I've had over 50 at one time, but it was on my personal, and I didn't know how to deal with them, but I just went through them daily. I took little chunks because I don't want to be on there all day.
And that's it. And when somebody responds back
or what have you,
right. But it's all about the consistency of the outreach, right? Because if you keep just saying, man, I sent so many and nobody responded back, then you like already gave up. It's about the actions, not the results, right? Commit to the actions, not the results.
Yeah.
Are you doing it from your business page or your personal?
So that's where I would do the business page that is you and your name and face. And then I would join the group under that business page, but the business page looks like your profile. Does that make sense? And then I'm messaging people from that.
Okay.
Usually.
I get a lot of personal DMs.
Mm-hmm. And those work too.
On my business,
but
because I never.
Right.
Yeah, I
Well,
think it
it's
just
been kinda
clutters
like
my
a
stuff
dead-
too much. Like mixing, because I used to do to where I would add everybody as a friend and then message them, and then it just eventually that works very well. So I'm not gonna say not to do that, but eventually it does cap out at like 5,000 friends, and then you have to start dumping people out. Which by then you'll have tons of money and everything will be good because you sent out 2,000, 3,000 messages, so it won't matter anyway.
4,700 friends on personal.
Right. I would use a software.
My business is not.
There's a software out called Pepper CRM, and then there's one called L Messenger CRM. And those are like automatic, find people in the group and send them the message and send them a friend request and send them a message and do all that whole thing. It's like automated. You just click a button and you watch the computer go through and add people and send them a message, and you can just set up what the messages are.
Now,
so Pepper and
There's another one called L Messenger, same EL and then Messenger. I would maybe try Pepper because I think they have a little bit better support system, but it might be a little bit difficult to find. But you should see this animated little white lady that has like red hair, ginger hair, and she looks like an office lady. That's the Pepper CRM. So if you see that, you're in the right place.
I've had that sent to me before, asking me if I wanted an admin, I guess, or something, or creative something design. I don't know what it was.
It's a cheat code, right? Because you can send, approximately 50 Facebook friend requests without it really like messing anything up. So what you're doing is you're sending all these messages, like at least 50 a day, 50 friend requests a day. And that's 350 requests. And if you only got 1% of that, then you would have 3 to 4 booked calls this week, which is just more than what we had last week, maybe. You know what I mean? It's just adding on to the number.
Like your own business there.
That's it. So that's why I say this is like free stuff that people aren't really doing, but that's like free for you to do, because when you're posting on these groups, for example, these are already captive audiences that are in the industry that you're looking for because they're already in a group that you scouted out. So if I needed realtors, for example, and I was selling something to specifically realtors, I could look up Las Vegas realtors and find a group with 1,000 realtors in it and just message all of them. What is stopping you from messaging all of them? Literally nothing. It's the idea that we haven't maybe earned their friendship on Facebook or earn their follow on Facebook. And that's all great, but that doesn't really exist. There's just it's like a toilet paper wall. Like you can literally walk through this and still get to the other side, and it's not going to keep any heat out. So
you don't need heat.
Right. So next, when you join these groups, you want to post and share content. So this is a whole nother conversation as far as creating social media posts, content. Last week, we talked about looking up Etsy post packs. You can look up your industry and then look up Etsy post pack. So like nonprofit Etsy post pack, right? Hair care Etsy post pack, hair products Etsy post pack. And they usually have people who create like 100 posts on Canva for like $10, $17, right? Very cheap, 100 different posts, and you can just change the colors, change the words. Now you have a post, and you just post that consistently, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. Maybe you rotate a few posts in these groups. Etsy, ETSY. So that's one way of doing it. You getting in front of the camera, like this is another way of doing it, right? Just talking about your business. I know it feels crazy, but do it. You know what I mean? It helps a lot. And the more you stumble, the more genuine you look. People aren't going to be like, picking at you too crazy. But if you post relevant content and value content, just giving as much game, as much information as you can, then you become an expert in these groups. That's it. The more that you post and the more people in the group see your face posting really good content, by the time you DM them, it's already pretty warm because they're like, oh, I've seen you 10 times already by the time you message me. So yeah, I would love to talk and see more about what you do. I've seen some of your content already. That's way better than just like, hey, this is the first time I'm talking to you. So you can start the messaging today, but just start posting in those groups. I would say choose 10 groups and you post, you post your piece of content and then you post to all these groups, 10 groups. Every time you post, you share it to 10 groups. You take that literal same post, click share, scroll to where it says groups, click that, and then type the groups in, and it's right there. You share straight to it. Boom. Nothing. Right? Then last, use the comment to DM framework we already went over. And then look for a viral post, which we already went over, right? Which is those ones that have over 50 comments, right? And then you're sending 50 to 100 messages a day. And it seems like a lot, but it can literally be done in 1 hour. Right? Because all you're doing is copying and pasting. I use on my phone. They have like a keyboard replacement. Remember I mentioned that? So there's things. Yeah, there are things called text replacement on your phones where you can just have maybe one keyword that you type and it automatically types the rest of the message out. That's what I do. And I just I put FBG1, and that means Facebook group 1, Facebook group message 1, you know what I mean? FBC 1, Facebook comment 1.
That's very organized.
Yes, and that way you can just literally do that every time.
I remember what I posted this morning.
Yeah, and then just trying to copy that message every time, and then tomorrow when you try to do it again, you're like, oh man, let me go back to yesterday's messages and copy what I had. I think it's just too much versus just having the same repeatable process every time. Or,
And where do I find that on my phone to do that?
It should be called text replacement. And it's a fun little thing to look up. And then on YouTube too, they'll have like, little 5-minute tutorials on how to use text replacement, right? Another just easy way to do it for us that aren't as tech savvy, just go and have a Google Doc or a Microsoft Doc. And you're just putting the messages on there so that you just have it saved and you copy and paste the message. Exactly. Yeah. That's my old school way of doing it. I always try to AI automate things a different way now, features and tech.
Yeah, the AI
So.
is just blown away.
Mm-hmm.
There was one thing that you had said, and I didn't get to write it down. You said when we were going into the Facebook that you said to go in, you said manage the page, and then you go into the pull down and look for load pages. But then you said to find this, there was a group name that you gave with an M, members or something like that.
Oh yeah. So on your Facebook groups, if you're looking for the area to invite people, it'll be called members. So then it'll be up on the tabs to where there's like discussion about us and all that stuff. There'll be like a drop down that says more. You click that and then you click members.
Okay. It's in the
Yeah. And on the phone, kind of similar. And then all you're going to do is you just select all and you can invite everybody. And so another cheat code that you can do for these groups and for your page to grow them is through moderation. So as a owner or admin or moderator of a page, you can invite everybody with that button. Other people, like members of the group, they have to click one by one. They don't have the option to just invite all of their friends to somebody else's group. So what I do is I find the people who are the best core audience for me, friends and family and stuff like that join the group, and I add them as moderators on the group so that way they have partial access, and then they just select all and then invite all their people. So then you do that with 10 people, right? You have like 5 friends and 5 family members, and you put them all as moderators on here, and you're just asking them to invite. Like, it's not any skin off anybody's back. They're only going to follow the page or the group if they resonate with what it is, period. Just because you get invited doesn't mean people have to join. So whoever joins has either an inclination to help you, support you, an inclination to help or support the person who invited them, the moderator, or they like specifically the product or the service or what the page is about, right?
I have a question. If you belong to a group and you have a personal page, is that group able to, like, I don't know what it's called, but get your personal people that you have under you?
No, they would have to go to your profile and literally message each one individually and send them a link to the Facebook group. Now, if they added you as a moderator, you can add them, but they don't have access directly to your friends and following.
So if they're on my personal page and they have a group and I see somebody from my group they've already engaged with, how do you feel about that? I'm okay with sharing who I have.
Yeah.
I don't,
at the end of the day, like, people
intentions.
people have a million interests.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna go with, something that they're interested in. If what I created and what I put out there has, guided you somewhere else and you find interest there as well, that's great. I can only worry about my controllables, which are the things that I can put out, the things that I could do, the messages that I could put out, and hopefully you feel about it the way that I felt when I made it. But yeah, it's weird, but that's all that we're doing is we're trying to utilize these platforms.
Yeah.
Oh, is this mine here?
Yeah.
Oh, it died. It's all good. Cool. Let me take this. Nah, it's all good. I don't need too much more of it. All right. So that's a quick way to just grow the page, is the moderators. On this professional dashboard, the different things that I really want you to look at on there are its location, where it's at in the app on your phone. So when you're on the phone app, you press on the bottom right corner. It should be like your face or whatever's there to pull up everything. And then on the top right, there should be a professional dashboard area. And
Is that where you get the stats?
Yes.
I haven't figured that out, but I see it a lot. Like, they told me you're minus interactive this week. X%,
negative 17% or something.
You're kind of like, well, what does that mean? Like, and I kind of thought, okay, well, I guess I didn't answer a few people.
Now, when you're posting on multiple Facebook groups and pages, all of those posts also count towards this. So what you'll see is by sharing to 10 different groups all the time, you're just going to get way higher engagement, way higher posts, and you'll see how many eyeballs you're actually getting in front of. So the reach metric right here, this is like important to get up, right? You can easily, by just sharing to those groups consistently, get in the 30,000, people, 40,000 people seeing your content, versus when you're on Instagram, you don't really have control but to post that one, time on your page or the couple times on your page. On Facebook, when you're sharing to multiple profiles and multiple groups and pages, now you're able to get in front of more eyes and ultimately get more people to go to your business and know about it enough to go and buy from you or convert with you.
So that's where the @ comes in for everyone. It grabs those groups too.
Only if you own it, right?
Oh, gotcha.
So only if you own that group. If not, you're just sharing to the group and people have to organically find it. But when you're commenting to those people and when you're telling them to check their DMs, all that stuff adds up to just more eyeballs on your business, which is the most important thing. If you're not able to generate brand awareness right now, then this is where you start. You have to start with the day-to-day, inside the the professional dashboard, they also have a comment manager. So when you go in there, you scroll down to the bottom. That's going to be your best friend. It literally is a roll up of every comment that was directed to you from whatever page, whatever group. So it'll just have, it says 18 comments, people commented back. You could just comment back to all of them right away in one spot instead of having to click around all the time. And then there's a spot right at the top of the professional dashboard. I think it has like a rocket ship and something else, but it tells you, hey, do you want to go to level 2? Do you want to go to level 3, level 4? Right? Yeah, just click it and it'll have a list, and just start doing these things on there, because all it's going to do is teach you how to use more of the platform. And it's like, oh, you want to reach level 2, fill out your profile, send 10 messages, comment on 5 things. And it's like, you do all that and it's like, you reach level 2. Woo-hoo. You know what I mean? A little gamification for Facebook, but it leads to
on Instagram too.
Yes, it leads to better engagement. It leads to one, or two, knowing how to navigate the platform better, right? If you didn't know how to navigate it and what these things were for, this will show you where the buttons are, get you to use them, and reward you for it, ideally. So the more that you can just kind of knock out those levels, like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, just do it. It'll kind of reset every week, but just knock them out, because it's showing Facebook that you're engaged, you're trying to learn it. And every time that you post after, you will start to get more engagement, because you're adhering to what Facebook is asking of you, which is to try these different features, try these different things.
Every time they put it, I delete it. I'm like, what is this?
You're like, what is this?
Take it out.
Yeah, I saw one today. It was like, oh, do an A/B test for your ads. I said, bro, this is not like entry level, not entry level at all, So, but it will take you to that spot and then show you and give you an explanation of what this is, so that you can try it if you want to try it. And then there's an area that's creator support in the professional dashboard. It gives you tons of tips, tricks, articles on how to create the content, what's trending, what's relevant, where to find certain features. And then it has AI integration, so you can kind of search things that you're looking for, and it can guide you to maybe an article that can teach you how to do it. So if you're like, man, I can't figure something out, it's there. And then it already has a repository or a library full of the information. So
I do have one question. What's going, it keeps on telling me to do stars or something. I don't know what that means.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, the stars are like, you can turn on stars, which is like donations that people can give you for your videos, but it's very low monetization. Like somebody giving you like 100 stars is like giving me 5 cents or something. I don't know what the exact metric is for that.
You gotta set up your account, your credit card.
They want your credit card info and stuff, right?
Yeah, and I would just do it in case like something goes viral. You're not like missing out on money that people could have possibly sent you. But I would only do it if you're posting content. At the end of the day, the more that you post, the more people can donate to you or not. For you guys as nonprofits, I would definitely, start to post and then turn it on just in case, so people can donate some money to you. But Facebook, they take such a high percentage, not as much as TikTok, but it take a high percentage. TikTok takes like 60% of the donation. So when you buy stars or whatever, and then you donate to somebody, only 40% of that money actually makes it to you. 60% goes to TikTok. It's crazy. So now when we're doing this comment to DM framework, it's usually 2 to 100 for book calls if you're doing it right? And if you're hitting higher than that, then great. You know what I mean? But out of 100 messages and conversations that I've sent, maybe 25 of them turn into actual conversations back and forth. And out of that, we should be able to get 2 people on a call. It may not be a perfect call, but it's a call. One, you just need to sharpen your sales skills, and you're only going to do that by sitting in front of people, right? Being able to articulate what your package is, what your service is, what you do. That's only going to be done in front of people. So it's actually better if you're not getting perfect leads early on, because when you have that unicorn that comes in, you don't want to drop the ball. Right? So get these calls, line them up. Now on the e-commerce side for products, you're looking at a 5 to 100 in website visits. So out of every 100 messages that you send and you're getting those links out via conversation, you're probably going to have 5 of them go and look at the products. If you are already in the right Facebook groups and pages, this is already somebody who is highly in your avatar, and you're going to want them to see your content, right? Like you said, hair growth oil, for example, for people who have alopecia, things like that, right? There's alopecia groups out there. I know 3 right now. You know what I'm saying? So you go straight there, you put the products out there to them, they're going to visit your website. And if you have your website set up the right way with a Facebook pixel, Google Analytics tag manager, now you can retarget these people. And they've already shown interest because they clicked off of Messenger and went to your website. And there's at least a 2% interest. You know what I mean? 10% interest. And I'll take it. It's better than no interest.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and grab them and try to hook them in more. So find your conversation questions and keep them along the same framework. Whatever questions that you're using, use them over and over. Stop changing them. People that are like, that last conversation didn't go that good. Let me try to change up what I'm saying. But people are like just weirdos. People are weirdos. I'm a weirdo. You know? So we all have our nuances, and all these conversations aren't going to hit everybody the same. But you need to have the consistency so that you can see what's working and what's not. And you're like, man, I've done this question 100 times, and 100 times out of the 25 conversations I had, it was no love after this point. So let's take this question out. What's a different way that I could rephrase it that's going to give them a lot of, value, maybe, or just draw them to continue the conversation? Because the more back and forths that you have to a certain point, the better, right? Until it starts to taper off. Once it starts to downturn, you're like racing against time. It's like, all right, this guy keeps talking to me and it's not going nowhere. So like, but find a way to give them value in the conversation, connect them to their audience or a wanted result. So their audience is whatever they're selling, whatever they're interested in, whatever they have a passion for, whoever they're trying to get in front of. If you know that person, make an introduction and just put them together. You're a realtor. You're like, man, yeah, I'm looking for a mortgage guy. I know a mortgage guy. Put them in a DM thing together and just say, hey, this is a mortgage guy. And this is a really talented, and this, you don't even have to know the realtor that well, right? Like, man, this is a really talented realtor. He's out here in Las Vegas. Love everything he's doing, has such a positive energy. And this guy, he's a mortgage broker. He really cares about the people. They never stiff them. They do wholesale mortgages and yada, yada, boom, bam. Damn, such a warm introduction. You know what I mean? Thank you so much. One, it feels good to do that. Yeah, I do that all the time. That's how you can tell. That's how you can tell. But when you do that over and over, these people will find other leads for you and bring them to you. Or they'll listen to you and get on a call with you because you help them find something and find possibly money opportunities for them and their family. Right? It's not just money because money is money because I have to pay and I have a family I got to take care of. I want to listen to you, but I got to make sure I take care of home first.
Yeah, right.
So if you can help them take care of home first, they'll listen. Same thing, want a result. If they're selling a certain product or they're trying to push a certain project or initiative out there, if there's a way that you can move the needle forward for them, then that's also high value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's also high value. If they're looking for funding for their business, for example, and you're like, hey, I know a guy who does business funding. You don't, maybe you don't have good credit, but maybe he can get you like 10,000, and you're looking for 100,000. You're not giving them 100,000, but you're moving the needle forward. Now they're able to see, okay, this, even if they don't get the funding, it's like, man, you showed me that I can't get it now and that I have things that I need to work on. Now I know what I need to start working on. And I have this other person that's going to walk me through it and guide me through it. So make those connections. The conversation isn't always about your product, your service. As a matter of fact, it's almost never going to be about that right away. Yes, that's the most important thing that you could do. And if you do that over and over, yeah. If you do that over and over, the money's going to come. People are just going to look at you as a reputable source for all this stuff anyway. Right. And then this slide is specifically for the e-commerce. How much time do I have, brother? Good. Okay. So on the e-commerce, when you're selling products, even for, nonprofits, start making the products for your stuff. T-shirts, hats, because people are going to they want to donate, but they don't want to get nothing out of it sometimes, right? Like they would even don't support your nonprofit if you have merchandise there, right, available for them, right? It's like, man, buy a hat and $5 goes to a student that does this. Great. That's a way higher sell proposition than get this nylon polyester shirt. You know what I mean? Like it's a way better sales prop. So these are very important. Setting up your Facebook shop. On your website or just directly on Facebook, you can set up a Facebook shop. If you're doing it from your website, oh man, I spelled Wix wrong. That's hilarious. So utilizing Wix, W-I-X, or Shopify typically makes it really easy to index your products from your website on Facebook. Otherwise, you can just create a Facebook shop directly and just put your products and manually list them there, and people can just buy one touch from Facebook. Super easy, super clutch. You can go to Upwork or Fiverr and find somebody who can set up a Facebook shop for about $30 to $50 last time I checked.
Say that again.
You can go to Fiverr, FIERR.com, and you just type in set up a Facebook shop, and then the first 3 people see who has the best reviews, and then hire them and give them some money and haggle them down. Don't just buy it. Go to the contact us and then say, hey, can you do this for like half of what you said that you can do it for? And then they'll say, nah, but I can do this, and they'll give you another discount. It almost works every time. So there's this little small game there, and they'll set up your Facebook shop for you based off your website or on your platform for all your merchandise. I would say set up the Wix or Shopify, get your merch set up to a wholesaler, right? There's one called Printful, Printful, and there's another
What is
one,
it called? Print?
Printful, Ful. And then there's another one called Printify, Print and then IFY. And those you can take your logo, put it on a shirt. Take your designs, put it on a shirt. Put it on a hat. Put it on some socks. Put it on some joggers. Put it on some leggings. Put it on some tank tops. Tote bags.
Yeah.
Tumblers. You know?
Something, yeah.
Yeah, on something. Right?
Well, I do, yeah.
Pins, everything. So once you make all that stuff, then you can automatically from Wix or Shopify click one button and index it to your Facebook page. And now you have a Facebook shop, because it takes away 1 or 2 extra clicks that people have to take to buy from you, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, they're going from Facebook, then they go to your link, and then they go to your website, and then they go to the product, and then they go to the buy page, and they go to the thank you page. Versus if I could just stay on Facebook, click a button, and then order everything, and it's just all connected to Facebook. And the order goes and gets sent to you so that you can collect the money and send them
And
the
I'm
product.
not over here getting it, packaging and taking it somewhere.
Exactly, yeah.
Because like I said, I do inspirational quotes, and a lot of them are mine that I created. And I've had people that follow me and they say, Miriam, can you put these in the calendar for me? Or can you?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, I think I want to say Printify even has calendars too. So that's another quick way. Like if you have graphics already in there, you can just drop them on 100 different items, products, right? And then you can index them on here. And then another thing that I do is I use Facebook Marketplace, right? So you can take a picture of your items and put them up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. If you have e-commerce items at home, or you can place the order if, you can also place the order if somebody orders an item on Facebook Marketplace. And what I mean by that is if somebody's like, hey, I want to buy this from you, and they send you the request to buy it, you just get their information and then you just enter it into your website, and then now it sends them the order like normal.
Oh, that's easy.
Simple, yeah. And so typically Facebook Marketplace is one of those, they want you to have the item in stock. So like whatever item that you make, you can get samples on Printful or Printify. They give you like 3 samples at 20-30% off, something like that. And you can get 3 of them, take pictures of it, whatever it is, shoes, socks, all that, especially things like hair oil, acrylic nail sets, things like that. Amazing. You just take pictures of it, put it on Facebook Marketplace. And then since you have the website put up, you don't have to do too much craziness, like as far as like, hey, let's meet up in front of the mall and like, I'm gonna give you this oil. Like, nah, we're gonna set it up to ship, and it's only shipping.
Yeah.
And then so once you get their information, then you're just sending it to them straight up. And Facebook Marketplace, just quick sales, quick and easy sales. Like people are on there all day, and it's persona of people who are looking to buy. If you're on there, you're just looking to buy stuff in general.
Almost like Craigslist.
And with
Yeah,
that,
or offer
with
up.
that Facebook Marketplace, like I have a problem. Like I have my page, but then when I go in it only allow me to see things in a country. It's like I am not able to see the things that are here in the US, let's say so. It gave me a map, and it kind of like blocked it, because being out of the country, I went in so I could see things from that country, but because from here I couldn't see it, so I wanted to buy some stuff over there in that country, and I wasn't able. So I went in and I set it up. I was able to start seeing the things in there, but now I can't see anything from the US. It will only allow me to be in that country where I wanted to purchase something.
That sounds like
So-
possible like phone settings that were changed in order to put your profile in another country. You just have to figure out how to change those back. But then usually on Facebook Marketplace, usually they have to where you can just put like the zip code that you're looking for, the state that you're looking for, so that it hyper zones it to that area. But if it's blocking you, then it just sounds like Facebook thinks that you're from another country, right? So now it would just be figuring out how to reverse that and change it back to like your original settings. So I would probably have to take a peek to see. But if it does allow you to just change the zip code or something like that, that's your best bet. Just change it to
Yeah,
wherever.
just keep giving me that, and I'm like, okay, why can't I go? Why can't I see? Like other people, if they're in that country, let's say back home, they're there, they can see things from the US with no problem and buy things from there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what's going on my phone? I
Yeah.
can't.
That's why I know. I think it's more of a phone thing. And like Facebook, they want the marketplace to literally be that, right? Like local items that people are selling and stuff like that, right? They don't necessarily want bigger companies listing just their products up there. But this is like a way that you're able to kind of get around that and still sell your products in a local format. But, you know, you're just routing it through your website for the fulfillment purpose of not having to package things up yourself. But yeah, that's one thing that in your case is like, go to Meta Verify, like in your settings, go all the way to the bottom, and then there should be Meta Verify, like $14.99 for the one time. Was a month, but you can just turn it off after the first month. But it gives you an account manager, somebody from Facebook that you can send messages to and actually talk to them about it. And they can see your settings on the back end. This is set up like this. It's in the wrong country, and then they can reset it for you. Because sometimes it's a little too difficult, and it's not even.
It's called Meta Verify.
Yeah.
I seen that, and it said I wasn't Meta Verified or something.
Yeah, it's just a subscription thing. They just want you to buy some. Yeah, okay. It's $14.99. Last week I was telling people if it allows you to do it. Instagram. It just, you know, when people have like the blue check on Instagram, you can buy it now, $15. And it's like, okay, people.
I've seen somebody debating that the other day on Facebook, like you just bought it.
Right. And so if you're just doing it to look like you have a blue check, then I think that's a problem. But my point was last week was if you're DMing people, there's a stat that's like 35% more opens on your DMs because of a blue check. Right? Because if you see that, you're like, who is this? And you're going to open the message up. Well, if that's going to get out of what I just showed you guys, if you're saying 35% more out of this 100 people will probably open the message because they see I have a blue check, hell yeah, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? I'll pay $15 for that, especially if I'm going to be sending out 1,000, 2,000 messages over the course of whatever, you know, this month. So I would rather take that because it just gives you higher ability to get the conversion. And then on top of that, when you get to your profile and you clean that up, it's not going to matter how many followers that you have if your profile is good enough. As far as the picture, the bio, the highlights, the links, everything that you have, it just looks really good, really clean. It's not going to matter if you have 500 followers or 600 friends or whatever the case may be. You're a verified person, a real person. That's all that it's actually supposed to be signifying. And then they're going to see the rest of the profile and say, I either want to work with this person or check them out or not. It's not always about the followers. It's about how clean the profile looks, right? I think in our mind, it's about the followers. We're like, oh, they must have just not liked. No, they didn't like that you didn't post any content for the last 3 years. The last thing that you posted was like of your dog, and it wasn't about your business, and all that's fine. But it wasn't about the followers. It was just you didn't post enough content to make them disregard the followers, if you will.
Yeah.
You know? Next is the coupons on the post. When you're posting up your products or your service on these groups, especially products, because that's what the e-commerce side is. Just coupon codes. Set up something 10% off, 5% off, 10%, 25% off, something, whatever you can afford to kind of miss out on. Get the customer, because there's this thing called lifetime value, right? What's the lifetime value of a customer over X amount of time. If your product is, for example, hair oil, man, as long as they're trying to grow their hair out, they should be trying to re-up on this bottle every month to make sure that's consistent and the regimen is consistent. Most products are like that, right? Nobody wants to, even shirts, like nobody wore the same shirt for 10 years, you know what I mean? Like eventually if they like this brand, they're going to go back to the brand to get the same type of fit, similar design, but new. One that doesn't have the armpit stains and doesn't have all the stuff wrong with it, the holes from the washing machine, dingy colors that have been bled out all the way, you know? So the lifetime value is more important. So take the 10% off of this one or 20% off of this one now in hopes of getting a future customer. Now, this is with the caveat of the product has to be good, right? If the product's not good, they're just not going to buy again. It doesn't matter if you were able to give them a discount the first time on it. So if you feel like your product's a hit, then by all means, take a little hit to give them a discount. And where you're posting, it's like, hey, right now for everybody in this group, you get 20% off. Just use this discount code.
Yeah.
You know, that helps.
And that's a good way to engage to get their email anyway when you offer them a discount.
Exactly. And it's just filling it out, right? You can set it up on your website, super easy. Usually on any website platform, they're going to have coupon codes that you can set up for anything, you know. For nonprofits, what we typically do is every donation dollar will be matched in X amount of dollars, right? It's like, they don't know. They don't know. Like, what are they going to say? Like, I matched it in sweat equity from what I had to do from lifting all this stuff myself as the business owner for the nonprofit, right?
Correct.
So, okay, every dollar will be matched. So if you donate $1 today, it's like donating $2 to us and we can get more done with our causes. It just makes people feel like they're getting more for their dollar, more bang for their buck, right? So that's what the inverse of that is. And then lastly, just Facebook ads, not free, right? Obviously. Using as much different content as possible than advertisements usually works very well. Carousel ads are doing very well. So if you have like 4 or 5 different videos, try them out in a carousel ad.
Can you elaborate with carousel ad?
Yeah, so those ads that have like multiple posts that you can scroll through sideways.
Oh.
And you can kind of see different videos, different pictures. Yeah, so it'll be one post and then you can kind of swipe and see different things in that same post. And so what you can do is you can put multiple videos in there, or you can put multiple pictures, multiple flyers, ad posts, all in there as well. And so if you use that one first, then Facebook is going to try to put each one of these pictures or videos on the front and see what stopped people, what made people stop scrolling, what made people watch the whole video through, what made people swipe through the rest of them. And then it's going to put that one in the front. It's going to report that back to you. And then I could say, okay, well, I have $1,000 more. I want to put it behind this one post that I know does the best every time. Versus like, man, I'm going to just try something out. We want to know, like, okay, I gave it 10 shots. And out of 10 shots, this guy got 90% of all of them. So I know that the rest of my budget is going to go to this one versus these 10, right? So that's how you do it. And then Facebook right now is very good at finding an audience. You don't have to be as much of an expert as you've had to be in the past because the AI is very good. So if you're putting what your business is, what you do, what your service is, and the pictures that you're using are very descriptive or they have some verbiage, the AI can read all of this, see what you're trying to do, and find those people without you having to do too much hyper targeting. Just be like, oh, you know, if it's in Nevada, it's in Nevada, right? And then I'll just say, people in Nevada, go ahead and search and just go like this and let Facebook do it at this point. Most of the time that's been working.
That's totally different than what it used to be.
Totally different. And, you know, it's sizable. Like people are getting similar results. It's like, why did I do all this targeting if this one over here, I did no targeting and it got 5% higher conversion, you know? And so for me, I would rather somebody try that before they necessarily hire us, just because we know how to do this. We know how to get it right every time. But if you could do it right yourself and you can get some money, then you can hire an expert and then we can help you to elevate it to a higher level, make better content that rounds off that last 10% of people that weren't buying we're able to contact and get those people in there. But just try it, and it's not gonna fail you. At the end of the day, data is worth more than oil, right? Statistically.
I seen that somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, what?
Yeah. So you being able to know somebody's full deck of information is more important than what oil is. So if you have 1,000 people that looked at your ad, you can go and retarget these people, regardless if they bought from you. I could say, hey, I only want to talk to these people that looked at the ad for 10 seconds. And I think they were just a little bit closer. Let's just keep hitting them over and over until they buy it. Because it's not always about them liking your product or not. Maybe they're just broke today. And then on the 1st, they'll have some money. Or on the 15th, they'll have some money that they can spend. And the first thing that they need to think about is you and your service, your product. When I have $1,000, I don't mind donating $100. When I have $100, I mind very much donating 3 of them. You know?
How can you see directly the people? Because I can just, like, I did an ad. I just seen, it did the percentage.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see directly who were watching.
Yeah, you won't be able to see directly who until they fill out a form or they hit your website where you can collect most of the info. But what it does is it allows you to have control over that audience on Facebook. So as long as you're still on Facebook, you can take all the people who interacted with you and just target them. I can't say I want to target you, but I can say I want to target you that was in this group. I want to target the people that were in this group. And it gives you enough metrics to make it more fine-tuned. As in, I can target people who have watched the video 3 seconds, people who watched it 5 seconds, people who liked the post, people who commented on the post, right? Anybody who engaged my profile in the last 180 days, I think they took away 365. I think it's just 180, something like that, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, so those kinds of things. People who have just looked at your profile in the last 180 days, even if they didn't follow you, even if they didn't like anything, even if they didn't share, comment, just went to your profile. I can grab them and run an ad directly to them, and that's powerful.
Really? Wow.
You know. And it doesn't matter if you have the information. I just need to get the ad in front of you so that you feel comfortable enough to give me the information. Once you get the information, that's like half the battle. The other half is like your social proofing. Is your business any good from like when I see it the first time? And then is your sales ability any good when I meet you and talk to you for the first time? Do you compel me? Do you have a beautiful brand story? Do you know my pains and my gripes, my tribulations, and can speak to that concisely and very compact? And, are you willing to ask me for money? That's the other half, the last piece of it. Can you say, how do you feel about donating 200? Do you want to buy some of this hair oil right now? Like some people that they just never say it. They just talk to you for 3 hours in hopes that you say, you know what, I'm about to pull out my checkbook right now. Like nobody's thinking that. Just ask them and they can say, oh, wow, you know what? I actually don't mind doing that right now. I would love to do that. Actually, thank you. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's it. If you're uncomfortable to ask for the sale, you're doing a big disservice to your business. And it's going to hurt in the long run. And there's a ton of other stuff that you could be doing. So you guys have any questions for me?
All of them.
All of them?
Well, my main thing is my page, because I've been struggling with Facebook since I had a sour taste of it after they hacked it. And then I told Surreal about it. And then I started my other page. But then now with this, they took all my pictures of my stuff when they hacked it. And then after that, I went back and put up my pictures that I had. And that they sent me to take a facial, and me, not knowing I did it. I didn't have no makeup, no nothing. So of course I didn't look like how my pictures and my things that I was posting. I had just got up and they closed my account. So I lost all my stuff. And then I had to go through a whole loop so I could get everything back. So I just left it as that. I opened my page so I don't post as much as I used to. I try to clean up my page, but the one thing I'm seeing now, I'm trying to put my my personal page and my professional page together, and I can't link it. I don't know why.
So your personal profile and then your page, those are two separate. So they're
No, I have two pages, two Facebook pages.
Mhm.
One is personal, and then the other one, I have it with the business, which is a nonprofit.
yeah.
And then the one with the nonprofit, it has my face and everything, as you're saying, with the professional picture. But then I have my personal over here. And then I wanted to link them both, meaning that I can go in my phone and I can jump from this account to this other, and I can't do it. It won't
Okay.
allow me.
Facebook did mine, but they're older, I think.
Yeah.
So when
You
I
have your
sign
Facebook
in
on your
to
phone right now?
my personal, it shows my other two, and I'm kind of like, they're kind of like dead in the water. Why did they have them both on there?
Like
Yeah.
this one is
So
my personal, which is has to do with the fitness. Is this one? Okay,
Mhm.
that one. Okay, and then the one that has to do with the business, which is a nonprofit. I can't link it, but I'll show you it over here. Is this?
Oh, so this is the Instagram page?
Yeah, but I'm showing you the business page, which is the logo. I have that same page on Facebook. I've been trying to link it where I can go into Facebook and see them both, and I can't.
Let me see.
I think it's here, right?
I just want to see the pages here. What you have?
See, it's not letting me.
This is one page. And then which one is your personal page? Is this your personal page?
Yeah, this right here.
Which one?
This is
This one?
personal, and then yeah.